Kirk's assassination, as you have pointed out, is only the last in a series of politically violent attacks by young white men who have become isolated and radicalized online. Yeah. In your new book, Man Up, you explore several dimensions of gender in political violence. And I want to ask you specifically about the, quote, crisis of connection among men and boys that we're seeing in our culture and how it's contributing to political violence. How so?
I mean, the data is terrible, right? Right now about how lonely many young men are. 25% of young men under the age of 30 now say they don't have a single friend. I think 50% of American men say their online lives are more rewarding than their offline lives. So when you have situations like that, when people start spending so much time in communities online, that feels more rewarding, they can lose touch, first of all, with reality, with how likely they are to have a conversation with someone they disagree with, for example, because the disinhibition effect of online worlds can really reduce the likelihood that someone uses more collaborative language or engages in a conversation with someone with kindness or empathy, right? They're so used to trolling and jumping right on and being a kind of angry reply guy, if you will, in those contexts, because that's normalized. And so that fuels the whole situation as well.
There's a clinical professor of marketing at New York University's Stern School of Business, who's also a popular podcast host, Scott Galloway. He has identified that part of the problem this way. Take a look.
We have young men in this country who are sequestering from society. They're sequestering from relationships and guardrails. You have literally the amount of time young men are spending with their friends has been cut in half. They're not attaching to work. They're not attaching to school. They're not attaching to relationships. And they're increasingly vulnerable to be radicalized online.
Your response?
Yeah, absolutely agree. I mean, I think what we're seeing is the isolation, the loneliness create vulnerabilities to propaganda often, and often propaganda that scapegoats someone else for very real or even sometimes perceived grievances that they face. The problems of boys and young men are very real right now. 3/4 of the deaths of despair, that's suicides, overdoses, and alcohol-fueled deaths, and 40% of university graduates at this point. So there are a lot of factors that are leading young men to not be thriving.